All right, so as we all know, Juneteenth week, and we've got some folks spewing vile, racist rhetoric about the holiday. One of those people is running for Missouri Secretary of State, Valentina Gomez, whose MAGA campaign primarily consisted of homophobic stunts, told Black Americans to get the fuck out if they still want reparations for slavery.
Reparations from slavery and Black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most wretched holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for Black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America, finally, get the fuck out.
Okay, a newspaper in Miami, Florida is catching a whole lot of heat after running several pro-Trump political ads filled with racial slurs. So this full-page ad ran on the back cover of the Miami Times' June 13th through 19th print edition, features several uncensored uses of the N-word as well as a misleading quote of President Biden using the slur in 1985. Now, the quote was taken from a 1985 hearing in which then Senator Biden quoted racist remarks made by a state legislator during the redistricting process in Louisiana. At the time, Biden was questioning William Bradford Reynolds, a deputy attorney general nominee who oversaw the redistricting process. I tell ya, Michael, what do you make of this young woman, 4 years old, Valentina Gomez, an immigrant herself? What do you make of all of this that she is doing online, from the gay slurs to the racial slurs to her disposition on how she sees America?
There's so many levels to this right here. Okay, first of all, if she was a few shades darker, she would have to wear a sign at the January 6th insurrection saying I'm one of the good ones, because they may have used those gallows on her. Okay, number one. Number two, this is people have to ask the question, you know, there's a conversation that takes place, and some African Americans say, well, you know, immigrants coming from other countries hate African Americans, or some of them hate African Americans, things like this. And my response to them is partly a response that Malcolm X gave. I think it's probably 1963 when Malcolm X asked, who taught you to hate the color of your skin, the shape of your nose, the thickness of your lips, you know, et cetera. So the same people who taught people outside the country to hate African Americans are the same people who taught African Americans to hate themselves. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. Now, she's appealing to this MAGA wing of the Republican Party. All right. And she's grossly ignorant of history. She's 25 years old. She's grossly ignorant of history. And if we understand the fight for reparative justice, is not just for 246 years of slavery. It's for the harm that was inflicted after slavery. Jim Crow laws, suppression, theft of land, being locked out of massive land giveaways like the Homestead Act, which gave away 270 million acres of land for 124 years. They gave away land from 1862 to 1974. Okay, I was born in 71. So we're not talking about ancient history. They gave away, the U.S. government gave away 270 million acres of land for 124 years. African Americans who worked the land largely for free for 246 years were largely locked out of that massive land giveaway. So when we look at the structural inequities that exist today, the 8-to-1 racial wealth gap, it's not because white people worked 8 times harder. It's not because white people are 8 times smarter. It's because the laws and policies maldistributed wealth, power, and resources into their hands. So when we talk about reparative justice, we're not talking about a handout. We're talking about repairing the damage that America did. Okay, so Juneteenth, I just focused on Juneteenth celebrations, Motown Museum and Joseph Walker Williams Center, things like this. And one of the things I talk about is how we have to utilize Juneteenth as a tool to educate America on a history that Republicans are passing laws in state legislatures to suppress the teaching of that history in schools. America must have a massive history lesson. And the type of reparative justice laws that we need to get passed, you're really not going to be able to get those laws passed and keep what you get once you get sued to take it away in court. That's a whole nother conversation until America has this lesson. So we have to utilize Juneteenth, not as a party and to get drunk. We can have fun, but we have to have this history lesson and force this conversation.
Kelly, I think one of the sad parts about this is that she's got an audience. They are listening and they're being riled up because they like what she is saying. What is your take on just her whole approach? Again, a young woman who might have family members that, have history that are connected to you and me.
The young is used very, very loosely here because that's a hard-looking 25. Let's start there. And I think it is rooted in something that Emily says a lot, is that hate ages you, right? And I am past 25. I'll be 34 this year. And if I do say so myself, I look better than that. And it's because I don't carry that kind of hate in my heart. Hate truly does age you. But to your point, Candace, about the level of history that she just simply does not know or doesn't want to know, because it's not like the information isn't out there, right? I think we need to reframe how we're looking at people like her, because I don't think they see themselves as Latinx. I think they see themselves as white people who speak Spanish, and there's a difference there, and we see that in our history. Michael, back me up here. When Cubans immigrated here, white passing Cubans immigrated here and assimilated to whiteness. You see it from Europe, Italians who assimilated to whiteness, other Eastern Europeans who assimilated to whiteness upon immigrating here. So I think they see themselves as white people who speak Spanish. And if you look at it from that lens, you at least understand, however loosely, where that rhetoric is truly rooted in whiteness. It's rooted in the fact that I'm not like them because I'm white. I just happen to be bilingual, right? So that's where that's my take on this. Aside from her ignorance of history, aside from the part of her aging like a bad avocado, there are levels to it. But the one that needs to be seen the most is the fact that she does not see herself as a minority.
Matt, what is your take? I mean, this is someone who walked through a neighborhood that was the LGBTIQ neighborhood, saying, listen, don't be gay, be strong. I would imagine that there would be some, especially young white men, who would say, yeah, I don't want to be gay. And yeah, I'll be strong. That's a message that resonates with me. What's your take on what she's doing?
Well, first, I can never, ever pass up the opportunity to say that Michael is much longer in the tooth than I am, so I didn't watch Reggie Jackson play baseball. The event.
But I look younger than you, Matt, though. I look younger than you.
Of that, I was a year old when he was done playing baseball. In any event, Candace, here's my take on it. So, I think they're both right. Both Kelly and Michael are right with all of their commentary. The two things I'll add is, first, one of the gross ironies here is that the country of Colombia actually has a reparations program itself for those who are victims of the violence, the internal conflict there in Colombia. And I think that's important because it comes from a country where they have found a way to implement reparations to some extent. There are some problems with it. It's based in international law. But the larger principle is she literally comes from a country where they have figured it out. Our country doesn't take the time to figure it out because it doesn't care about us enough to figure it out. And two, they always put up policy barriers to have conversations. But I think the bigger issue with this is actually less about the substance of what she's saying and more the fact that she's running for Secretary of State. How is this germane to any of the potential things she intends to do as the Secretary of State, who does not customarily deal with policies like this? They deal with policies related to elections and other matters. I say that to say there is no consequence for hot button political conversation these days that makes people, foment certain hate. And she sees that as a valuable thing here. And that's what she's doing. She's leveraging that. But it would infuriate me if I were a Missourian, because I wouldn't want somebody who's running for office about things that they cannot do in their purview. You only do this because, one, you embody the hate, and two, because you think there is a political benefit to embodying that hate. And that's what you're seeing here. And I think it's absurd that we allow this. It happens everywhere. It happens in every state house. These state legislators in particular, are trying to co-opt issues that don't even have anything that they would have any control over. And that, to me, just indicates that she sees that MAGA wing and sees it as level to her ends of getting elected.
Yeah, as we go to break, I want to end with you, Michael, just quickly. Do you think she has a chance of winning at all?
With her being 25 years old, Secretary of State, I don't know what the landscape is, who the competition is. Probably not, which is probably why she's pulling a stunt like this. She's trying to tap into the white supremacists there in Missouri, which, quiet as it's kept, Missouri stayed loyal to the Union. They were allowed to keep their slaves after the Emancipation Proclamation. They were not a Confederate state. You would think they were, but they were not a Confederate state. But this is, once again, why I say America needs a massive history lesson, because she's dropping a message like this on Juneteenth or right around Juneteenth, trying to tap into this hatred. And this is another example of why, when I delivered my presentation to the Detroit Reparations Task Force on March 2nd, 2024, which is online, people can watch it, I told them, don't put the term reparations on anything that you want to get passed, because it's an automatic trigger for white supremacists, and they will vehemently attack whatever it is that you're trying to get passed.
Real quick, Michael, you had an announcement real quick. Go.
Yeah, join me Sunday, June 30th, 2024, for my new 10-week online course, Black Resistance Movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, Black Power Movement, 1800 to 1968. Most importantly, we look at how we fought back against white supremacy and racism, the various ways we did that. Visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Register today, watch the class live or on demand. We'll see you in class. Thanks,
all right,
Roland.
Thanks a bunch. And again, folks, we'll see y'all tomorrow from the Poor People's Mass Assembly here in the nation's capital.
Join me Sunday, June 30th, 2024, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my new 10-week online history course, Black Resistance Movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power Movement, 1800 to 1968. Visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. I'm historian and national political commentator Michael Imhotep. You see me on the African History Network show and Roland Martin Unfiltered, as well as a Reba Martin show on KBLA 1580 AM. This class looks at history chronologically from 1800 through 1968 to 1971. And we look at what leads up to the Civil War taking place. We look at the Reconstruction era, 1865, 1877, the Jim Crow era, World War I, World War II, Great Migration, Civil Rights Movement, Black Power Movement, and to get a better understanding of the different ways African Americans fought back against white supremacy and racism, how we fought back through armed resistance, how we fought back through economic empowerment and business ownership and the cooperative economics movement, how we fought back when it came to the labor movement and in the courts and legal strategies, court cases, etc. Visit my website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can watch this class live or on demand. Your understanding of history is based upon your understanding of politics. Here and jump into the class right now at our online school and start teaching the intro to the class. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Scroll down past the first online course that I teach, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade. You can still register for that class. But this new one right here, Black Resistance Movements, this really ties into the political climate, what we see going on in America right now. the backlash against diversity, equity, and inclusion, the resistance against any type of reparative justice or reparations, the attack on voting rights as well, the January 6, 2021 insurrection, which was political violence. All of this is what we see. The seeds of all this during this period of time from 1800 to 1970. Okay, so this 10-week online course, Black Resistance Movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power Movement. You can register right here for it. Click right here, register for full course. It's on sale, $80. You can register for both classes. We have a bundle pack for $120. It's about a $300 value. There's going to be some bonus content. You're going to get my Juneteenth lecture free when you register for this new class as well, Black Resistance Movements. Okay, so visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. And